Okay, really quickly, we are going to make homemade Bisquick. We've got 6 cups of flour here. We've got 1 cup of butter, and we have 3 tablespoons of baking powder and 1 tablespoon of salt. That's it. That's all that you need. So we are going to add our salt and our baking powder. Mix that in. A whisk tends to work really well for blending in your dry ingredients, but this will work. Now you can do this even faster in a food processor, or you use a pastry cutter. And then all we're going to do is take our cold butter here, and we are going to cut it in until we get fine crumbly texture. Small. You don't want it like pea size or something like that when you're making biscuits. You want it to be really fine. And then this is going to get stored in the refrigerator because it's butter. If you didn't want to have to store it in the refrigerator, you could use shortening. It'll be good for about 3 weeks. If you wanted it to last longer, you could pop it in the freezer, and that'll be good for 3 months. If you didn't want to use just butter or just shortening, you could do a combination of half and half. And this will work exactly cup for cup in any Bisquick recipe. We have some old vintage Bisquick pamphlets that were my mother's, and we like doing some of those recipes in there. It's good to know how to make your own Bisquick or other items from scratch, with shortages and prices being what they are. And not to mention, you control the extra ingredients that are not necessary. If you use the food processor, you'll get a more even texture. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want any big clumps. You want it to be more fine. And while this can be done with shortening, the flavor is superior with the butter. It tastes better than Bisquick. Okay, so here's our Bisquick. And again, put it in an airtight container, put it in the fridge, 3 weeks. 3 months in the freezer. If you want it on the counter, use shortening.